Well, howdy, travelers. Welcome to the MOM Trading Post. My name is Marty O'Malley, and I like to think I keep things running around here. But I suppose you're looking for provisions, ain't you? We got all sorts of things for travelers and pickaxes if you're out here mining. But you're not looking for provisions, you say? Well, you're looking for a story. Well, I suppose that the best story you're going to get is from old Marshal Kevin. After all, he lived through all the good parts. So let's go on and see what he's got to say.
Good evening, thank you, and what an introduction. Welcome to our very first ever televised edition of Deadlands. We're playing the 20th anniversary edition tonight, a spectacular game provided by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. Why the 20th anniversary edition? It's the one I had the books for, so that's the one we're going to play. There is a newer version out there, but this is the one I had the paperwork for. For those of you, and for details, and for the pure sake of disclaimer, the first part of this following campaign is based on a module from the 20th anniversary rulebook and an adventure also provided by Pinnacle. From there, I use the hooks provided by the authors to expand these adventures into the start of a larger and much more complicated sandbox campaign of gigantic proportions. I can't believe how big this thing is. As another small disclaimer, I can't help myself. I made a few small changes to the rules. There are a few house rules that are slightly different than the rules as written. You'll see those as we move along. Now about these people that are with me. First of all, this is their first real session playing Deadlands. So give us all a break while we get used to the very different game mechanics to what we're used to. There's cards, poker hands, poker chips, as well as dice. So during these first couple episodes in particular, I'll be explaining the mechanics as we play. We're also trying some interesting stuff with Roll20 lighting, so hopefully that works. But again, give us a wee break on this one. It's our first swing at it. Next, these fine, brave people that volunteered to do this for the first time live on Twitch. In alphabetical order by character name, we have Alice, played by Sarah.
Why am I here again? Where am I at?
We have Jet, played by our very own Noctum Sky. And we have a new player for us this evening, Lucius, played by one Lessimax. So just a quick convention that I use. If I call them by their character name, I'm talking to their character. If I use their real world name, then I'm talking to them out of character. So that's just one thing that I do. And with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and for the rest of you, listen up. I've got the cure for what ails you. Come on down the rabbit hole with us to Poisoned Paradise. You guys, it's hot. Real hot. When this train left Dodge City 6 hours ago, the dawn was just breaking, and the cool chill of the plains night still hung in the air. Now, even with the windows of the cars open, the air is stifling and dusty. You can smell the smoky residue of the coal-powered steam engine that's pulling this train. It irritates your throat and fills your eyes with grit. If you close the windows, you found that the heat just escalates like it would in a greenhouse, and this is not t-shirt and shorts kind of time and place. Stiff collars and petticoats are the rule of the day. Jet, even you are wearing heavy working clothes, and not a few layers of them. You and the other passengers have eventually settled on a compromise. The last windows on each side of the carriage of your car are open. So there's some dust and smoke coming in, but you guys have all sort of migrated to the other end of the car. It's debatable whether it's helping or not. The train itself consists of, from front to back, a locomotive, a coal car, This is not one of the new Ghost Rock trains. This is a traditional coal train. There's a sleeper car, which is basically 2 rows on each side, 2 bunks high with little curtains covering off the cubby holes. The 3 of you each have a one of those to sleep in. But of course, you can only lay down in those. You can't sit. So with the rest of the passengers, you spend the most of the time in the next 2 cars, which are regular coach cars. Behind that, there's a dining car, the baggage car, and a caboose. There's only a few other passengers on the train, and you've met 2 others. While you tried to figure out the window arrangements. Well, let's start with Alice. When these 2 assist you, help you, the 3 of you figure out this window arrangement, who do they see? Just a quick physical description.
You would see a fairly attractive young lady. She is dressed in just the finest red gown you have ever seen in your life, darling. She has long sleeves. She's got a gold watch on her hand, of course. Fancy. But you also see that she's got quite a large bag that has something concealed inside of it that stands almost as tall as she is. And you cannot tell if it's that large bag or the gold boots on her feet that match a watch. But you know there's something more you need to know about this woman.
Now that is an introduction.
How do you top that?
Next in line, sitting next to her, they've been chatting ever since they got on the train. They seem to know each other at least a little bit from before this time. Noctum, why don't you give us a tell of what Jet looks like?
Jet is your standard cowboy. Jet has a leather Stetson. He's got, a little cloak over on his shoulders, like a poncho to keep that dust and everything off. He's got that long white shirt with the vest. There's a little tiny silver badge, very plain, but you can definitely see it kind of poking out from under there. And he carries not a few guns, so he's got quite a number of those on him. But
I will quickly mention, when you got on the train, nothing larger than a pistol. So your rifles and shotguns are going to be in the baggage car.
Okay, so he does not have all those guns.
Thank you. We just got started. Thank you.
But he's got his pistol, and he looks real tired. We're not sure why, but that man, you trust him, but something don't look right.
So you can, I would suggest you can tell from the way he's dressed and the way he looks, you can see where straps would sit, where other weapons would be.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's a man who's very, very comfortable, fully armed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And finally, sitting sort of across from you, he's been very quiet. He was very helpful with the windows, but he's been fairly quiet up till now. Lessimax, why don't you tell us just exactly what Lucius looks like?
Lucius has, he wears a very fancy kind of like dapper outfit and a top hat. He also has long black hair that's braided like all the way kind of like down to his back. He has a bag to his side, a very dapper, very attractive looking man, except for the permanent black kind of like what do you call those when you're extremely sleep deprived and
Like bags under your eyes?
Yeah, like huge bags. There's a kind of a feel of like gloom about him. It's like you don't know.
Yeah, don't give too much away. Just tell me what he looks like. So that's the 3 of you you're the 3 that got on in Denver. And because of the way long distance train travel works in this world, you guys have kind of been you sort of haven't earned your place on this train yet. The other people that have been here before you got on are sort of in a little group over in the corner. Some of them are looking towards you. There's definitely more conversation going on down there. There are, at this moment, 2 women and 3 men sitting at the other end of the cart, more or less well-dressed for the most part. You have heard a bit of a ruckus in the cart behind you. And in that one are the people that do not have access to the sleepers at night. And you didn't pay very much for these sleepers at night things. So these people they're the ones that do not have any money. You kind of had a quick look through the windows, a couple of you, I'm sure. What you've seen back there appears to be 2 hillbillies, a quiet teenage Mormon missionary boy, a loud woman who sounds from her accent to be from back east somewhere, and an absolutely obnoxious family with horrible children they're only 6 or 7 years old. They're using their knives to carve their names into the seat backs. They're stabbing each other slightly with the knives and laughing like it's funny. Luckily, you're not in that car. So let's start by everybody drawing 3 of the fate chips. So just click on that tower of chips there, and it should say draw should be one of your options. Draw 3, and then drag them out so we can see what they are. Put them right above your name so we can see what each of you have. I'll pause here very briefly. Not seeing them out on the map. This is problematic.
Kind of blend with the color.
Okay, well, either way, you guys can see them, so you know what you've got. I'm not going to let this stop things. If you go into your journal, you will see one of the rules under tables is the fate chips, and it tells you what you can do with them. So there's white, red, and blue that you've got the options of. You can use a white chip at any point to reduce 5 wind, which is a form of damage in the game, or at the time you take a wound, you can burn that chip to prevent it from actually happening to you. The red chips allow you to roll an extra die and add it to your highest current die. So it's like the aces that we talked about, where if you roll the maximum amount of die, you roll again and add. You get to roll again and add, even though it wasn't necessarily an ace. There is a downside to that. Every time you do that, the marshal, that's me, gets to draw a chip for the bad guys. The blue chips are the best ones. They will, I also forgot to mention, the red chips will also heal up to 10 wind instantaneously or prevent 2 wounds. The blue chips are the ultimate ones that you can draw from the deck. They're just like red chips, except the marshal doesn't get a draw. So you can do that adding a die without paying me, basically. And they repair 15 wind or 3 wounds. If you don't use them to save your life during the game, you can burn them between sessions like experience points in other games. They're called bounty points. The white is worth 1, red is worth 2, blue is worth 3. So those are your options there. So again, you can use them in-game to heal yourself, or you can use them to roll more dice or add 2 dice, or you can save them and use them to make your character better if they survive till the next session. So you've all got your 3 and you all know what they are?
Yeah.
Excellent. So as I said, there are 4 other people in this cart with you, 2 women and 2 men. They appear to be have been on this train for some time. They've got that sort of tired, worn-out look of people that have been untrained for a while. So, what would you like to do?
I'm probably nodding off a little bit. It's some of the few times I get any kind of rest is when I'm around other people who are, talking and making sounds so that I can kind of still stay present,
Yep.
So I'm probably just kind of sitting in the corner, like listening to them talk, but probably just kind of like,
So you start drifting off. It's hot, man. you're just you get that foggy kind of you're sleeping, but you're not really sleeping because it's too hot, and you still got all your clothes on, and no matter where you put your hat, the sun's still in your eyes. But somehow you manage to drift off because you're always tired. And the second you do, it's like a hammer right between the eyes. The bad dreams are back. The flames, the blood, the boiling. You're shooting people you know. Families are dying at your hand. You are wreaking havoc on a nation. You're used to that. That's every night. But maybe it's the heat. Maybe it's this new adventure. Maybe it's because you're only half asleep. But the next scene just snaps like dreams do. And you're back at a tarot reading. You're 5 or 13. I don't remember. You're young. You don't remember. You remember being there. You don't remember the words, but in this dream, you hear every one of them clear as day. The first card she turns, flip. The old gypsy woman says, the tower. Sudden upheaval. Broken pride. Disaster. Flick. The next card. Oh, the Empress. Motherhood. She points directly at your mother. Fertility. Nature. Flick. The third card. Death. The end of cycles. New beginnings. Change. Metamorphosis. And then there's another flick. And you hear your baby brother's laugh. But over that, images of flames and hundreds of people screaming. You wake back up with your head against the hot glass on the side of the cart. Okay. The other two of you, Alice, you're sitting right beside him when he comes out of this.
Yeah.
He is covered in sweat. I mean, it's hot, but you can tell the difference. This is that thick, oily sweat. This is, you can see his face. It's pale. He's a sunburnt cowboy, and he's gone pasty.
I'm going to
just across from you guys. I just quickly mentioned Lucius. You kind of are attracted by this start, this motion to your left, and you look across and see the two of them.
I'm going to pull out. Alice has, of course, a handkerchief, and she's going to pull it out, and she's going to say, "Why, cowboy, I do think that you have had just a horrible time." And she's going to hand out the handkerchief and try to give it to him. Because he's gross, and he needs to.
I'll take that, and I'll say, "Thank you, ma'am." And just take that and just trying to do anything to distract myself. So just, wiping all over.
And then, mention of note here, we met in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
So we already know each other.
You guys
and I
have
know
been
that
together for...
figure out this magic thing. I'm going to say.
Also, by this point, you would have seen him wake up like this at least once. You've been on a train with him for 2.5 days now. So if you hadn't seen it, you would have heard it because you guys are like a bunk above a bunk in the sleepers. You would have heard him wake up one night and probably smash his head against the bottom of your bunk while he went, "Ah!" So he has bad dreams.
So I'm gonna say, now, listen here, cowboy. I gave you my handkerchief, so in return for that, I need an answer. What are these dreams that you keep having at night? And her hand is on the large luggage. She's just like,
"Ma'am, I don't rightly know. I couldn't tell you where or how or why. All I know is that for the longest time now, when I close my eyes, it's worse than when they're open.
Worse how?
In every way, ma'am. I've never known. I'm not a man to shy away from a lot of things, but the things that I see when I fall asleep are not. They ain't normal. They ain't right. Not when you're trying to just do a little good in this world.
Is this more that magic nonsense you've been going on about?
Why,
Ma'am.
miss, do you not believe in magic?
And I turn around and I see him and I see his eyes and I'm like, he knows. This man's seen. And when
Knows
he-
about nonsense, maybe.
Let me guess, sir, you're from out west, probably, or at least closer to it than she was.
I have one quick question. I just want to interrupt very, very quickly. You would have been allowed to bring the tool of your trade with you onto the train, Lucius. So do you have that?
Are you talking about my shovel?
Yes. Is this incredibly well-dressed man sitting across from these two people, does he have a very well-built shovel leaning against the wall?
I do. I kind of lean it forward like as if it were a cane. And just like,
Because that's kind of important. So,
yeah. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to bring that in the train or not.
they don't consider it a weapon. So
Yet.
Spoilers.
Right?
So yeah, though I'm just like, you're from at least further west than she's from, because you know, I can tell you know.
Yes, I'm from the city of Lost Angels.
Ah.
I've
Hey.
seen quite a few things actually in my time. Things you wouldn't even believe.
I guarantee I would, sir. And I turned to Alice and I'm like, you just wait, little missy. Further out west you go, the more you're gonna see. And I just hope that, you know, nothing happens, because it's some
another
rough
quick
stuff out
interjection. Sorry, quick interjection. Noctum, did you see in your journal the things Jet knows?
there. Yes.
File, I just put it in today. Okay, good. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure, because of what it says in there, that yeah, your response to him is completely legitimate. Okay.
Alice will say, listen, cowboy, I've seen things that you could never dream of. I can promise you that. But everything has an explanation.
Well, then I'm hoping you can explain it to me eventually, miss. Because I'm sure looking for answers.
At this point, one of the four up at the front stands up and starts to walk back towards you. It's one of the men. He looks a bit like well, he looks like a tin horn. He looks like he's not from around here. He is definitely from back east. He's wearing a tweed suit. He's pretty solidly built. Like, he looks very muscular and sturdy and strong underneath this suit. The suit's kind of stretched by his physique. He looks vaguely worried, and he walks past you guys, kind of, pardon me, he just sort of makes a noise as he goes past and heads back into the next car towards the back of the train.
That's interesting.
I'm trying to determine if that's really all that weird.
There's a guy that got up and walked out of the train. I'm just telling you what you see. You decide if it's weird.
Everything and nothing is weird.
Is there perhaps a role, if I could kind of determine, kind of like recognize that kind of like look on his face in a sense?
Let's try a. Give me a streetwise roll.
Okay, how do I do this again?
Just open up your sheet under smarts.
Okay, I'm there.
Streetwise, if you have no skill at streetwise, you just roll me one of whatever the dice is for that, for your smarts.
Okay, so
What's your smarts?
3. Okay, 3d12.
3d12s. Okay, so roll me 1d12 and -4 because you don't have this particular skill.
True.
So you can do that right at the very bottom left of the screen. Those
what?
macros that I had you open up. The first one is
Oh.
blanky blank.
I clicked the wrong one. Whoopsies. Okay, here we go. Just 1.
Okay, so 4 minus a 4, that is a 0. He hardly registers as you walk past. You kind of go, I wonder what he's. Wait a minute, that guy said he's seen weirder shit than me. And your eyes kind of come back to Jet, sitting across. Of course, you don't know his name yet, but.
Oh, do I? So should I make a street smarts roll?
If you would like, yeah. If you feel like this person walking past was a fuss.
All right, streetwise. Ooh,
That's a -3. Oh, no. Oh, you have the skill. Okay, never mind. Yeah. That's a 1. You glance up at him as he walks past, and you are immediately convinced he's got motion sickness from the movement of the train. You suspect he's probably trying to find a place to unload.
gross.
Alice isn't interested. I assume he was looked like he was beneath me.
Oh, very much so. This is
Okay.
definitely a working man.
Yeah, Alice isn't interested.
Actually, seeing as how you said that, make a scrutinize check for me, Miss Alice.
All right. You just give me.
And again, anytime you don't have the skill, you roll 1 of the die for that trait
Huh?
and -4. You had the skill. Look at you go. Yeah, you look at the way he's dressed. His dress and his hands don't match. He's dressed real nice. I mean, the clothes don't, like, they look like they're a little too small for him, but his hands are working man hands. These are tough hands.
Yeah, I care really less now.
And he leaves the cart behind you, and you kind of look and you see anybody that's looking. He goes into the next cart, which kind of puts paid to Jet's theory.
Seems like he's traveling above his station. And Alice will just.
Oh, we know where the tension's going to be in this party already.
Since it's hot AF, Alice will pull out.
Yeah.
She's got one of those little, those little hand fans.
Mm-hmm.
She'll- That's pretty much it.
And the other 3 are sitting up back at the front, and again, now it's 1 woman and 2 men sitting there. The train, as you look out the window ahead of you, you can see probably it's hard to tell because you're going pretty quick across the flats right now, but it looks like you're probably no more than sort of 20 minutes to half an hour from the start of the mountains, which at the very least should offer a break from this sun and this heat. There's not a cloud in the sky.
Yeah, I'm still recovering from that. Everything.
Can I guess? It's like, why don't I take a look at you? Can I do a medicine check?
If yeah, you're gonna let him. You're gonna let this. You kind of feel like he's asking if he can measure you for a box.
I mean, it's always good to have a box out here, but
On that note, I do take out my measuring tape and go.
You can let him have a look at you.
the clothes stay on, partner.
Give me a medicine check.
I chuckle like, no problem, cowboy. Okay. Medicine check. Is there not a roll for medicine check?
I think there is.
Yep, it's under your knowledge.
There it is. But
And I'll explain to anybody who is watching. Dice in this game explode. So, you roll a d12 and you say, oh, I got 24. How does that happen? If you roll a maximum on any die, you roll again and add.
is it under mad scientist or because?
Yeah, it should be the next one down in the row should be medicine.
Okay, I just can't seem to roll for it for some reason.
Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't have
Not
a
have the skill?
specific dice, so
Oh,
yeah.
okay. In that case, roll me your knowledge.
Oh,
Whatever knowledge is, just click the box at the top and roll me.
oh, okay.
We'll do it that way.
Okay. I should have 2. Okay, I didn't. Okay. And then add 2, I suppose, right?
Yeah, just give us the roll, and then we'll. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, you add to that. So yeah, you very quickly determine there's nothing physically wrong with him. He's not hurt, cut, bruised. He hasn't had a heart attack. None of those things. He appears to be exhausted and stressed to the eyeballs.
Okay. Well, I would recommend sleep, but that seems to be the problem.
You don't say.
Maybe, I don't know, meditation. Deep meditation.
I might have to give that a try.
At the mention of this meditation foolishness, Alice, in her head is foolishness, starts looking around the cart, and there's you notice there's another, like I said, there's 2 women and a man still at the front. One of the women is starting to look at the back door, kind of looking where the guy went. You're muted.
Sorry. I'll say, what do you think she's gonna follow her friend back there? And point it out to Jet and Shovel Man.
I mean, if he were sick.
Not introduced yourselves yet.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, my name is Lucius. Lucius Glory at your service.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Glory. I've never let a man measure me before introducing myself, but I'm Jet.
Do adventure every day.
Alice O'Hare, and she'll reach out her hand as she knows she deserves to be,
Just the correct way, expecting.
she'll say charmed to be sure.
I take her hand in the courtship of, kissing her hand.
Yep,
Pleasure.
correct response. Absolutely proper gentlemanly response. Yep.
And I assume Jet didn't do that when we met, so she'll kind of glare at Jet like.
Do I notice this?
I don't think Alice is subtle about any of this. I don't think Alice is subtle about much of anything.
I'll just smirk as I look at the 2 of you.
And as your hands separate across the aisle, you hear the clunk of the back door open, and the gentleman comes back in, walks back to the front, kind of gives a little nod to the other woman, but then doesn't sit beside her. He sits across from her and slightly back.
Well, that seems odd.
Bit of a feud, perhaps?
He was sick, but I don't know.
And what are they sitting? They're just sitting at the front of the car. Is there anything? Because they've been here longer than you, they've kind of taken up the best seats, because if you remember, the windows at the back of the car are open to allow a bit of airflow, so that's where the dust and the smoke is swirling. So you guys are kind of in the middle of the car to try and stay away from that, and they've sort of preoccupied the front of the car. Thank you some more. Thank you.
So it's like we're on a Greyhound and they've done the thing where you put your bag in your seat next to you. So nobody comes up.
All the cool seats are taken. Yeah. Now the other thing is, where they're sitting is the closest to the car in front, which is the sleeper car, where you guys all have room. There's only one person in this cart who does not have a sleeper bunk with you guys. Which you haven't introduced yourself to anybody yet. So.
Let me see.
You see the train's crew going about their business. There is a dining car behind you. It's just about lunch now, so you see a person you guys haven't seen, because you just got on this morning after breakfast was served, because breakfast always ends at 6 o'clock in the morning at these places. It's like every bed and breakfast ever. If you don't have breakfast by 6, it's not included. But you hear You see a middle-aged, balding man with the chef's hat stick his head through the back of the cart, and he yells out, there he is. Dinner will be ready in about 10 minutes. Lunch will be ready in about 10 minutes. And then back in.
I'm gonna look and see if those people like if they do anything or say anything.
They've been on the train multiple days, like the two of you have, and it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, we know. But they are sort of, you're putting away your stuff, getting ready to go. There's no overhead luggage in this cart, so they're kind of tucking stuff under their seats.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear from the cart behind you, even over the noise of the train, that same voice go, yeah, you lot will be eating in the cart here. I'll bring you food, maybe in a bucket.
Classy.
Well, I never.
But you about to. You realize you have to walk through that cart to get to the dining cart.
Ugh.
Why don't I go get us some lunch? Wait, sorry. What time is it first off before I say so?
It's lunch, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll go. Why don't I go get us some lunch? Lunch.
And she, of course, Alice is like, why, darling, that would just be amazing. And she will, she'll do her due diligence as a woman of money. And of course, she'll give him, is lunch I assume you have to pay for lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
$2.
She'll give him, money for her lunch, and then a little bit of a tip.
I'll be like,
for himself.
That's not necessary. It's on me.
All right, we'll see.
All right.
And I walk off to get lunch for the group.
Hold up there, partner, and I come after him just because I'm like, I gotta walk this off, so I'll come with you.
Okay, take it easy, cowboy. I wouldn't want you to fall over.
Ooh.
I don't know how to feel about this gentleman yet. Like normally I'd be like, now listen here, but he also has this weird aura about him, so I'm just kind of like, I'll leave that be.
So the two of you head into the next cart, heading towards the food cart?
Yeah.
So as soon as you step into the next cart, there is because when you're between the cars, you can hear the steam engine, the steam is swirling around, the dust is coming up off the tracks, you can smell the oil from the ties, and then you kind of feel a little exposed, but you get into the next cart, and as soon as you close that door, there's this relative silence, because they've got all the windows in this cart closed. It's got to be 130 Fahrenheit in here. That's like 45 for my Canadian friends out there. It's just like greenhouse hot in here. Almost every one of the wooden seats has got a name or a rude word or a penis carved into it. These two kids are now starting on the walls, the hardwood walls, with their knives. Their two parents are just sitting like just head in hand, shaking their hands. The two boys are both cut, so they've been going after each other at least as much as they've been going after the cart. At the other end of the cart, there's the two hillbillies I mentioned earlier. They're wearing just like 3/4 length trousers, and the other one's wearing like an overall with no shirt underneath it. They're handing a bottle back and forth, like a clay jug. And I mean, why not? It's Deadlands. It's got XXX written on the side, and they're just back and forth and yeeing and hawing and just bare feet and just hammered. And it's noon. The only other person back here is sitting as far away from them as he can, is a teenage boy. He's like 16, maybe 17, still all spotty. His hair is all greasy and hanging across his forehead. He's wearing black pants, a white shirt, and a tie, a little black, crappy little tie tied up. And he's got a little name tag that says Elder Emmett on it. And he's just trying to disappear. He's just sitting in the corner of his little chair as far as he can get from the rest of them. Just like, and when you come in, he just twitches towards you.
You okay there, Pilgrim?
Have you heard the word of Almighty God?
I have.
And he
Many
reaches into his pocket with a very sweaty little hand. He pulls out this crumpled little pamphlet.
I stop him.
to
We'll
hand
go.
it to
No,
you.
no, that's not necessary. It's okay.
Okay.
Maybe another time.
Okay. I don't think those people believe it all.
What gave that away?
They've been drinking for 3 days. I don't think they've stopped. The rest of them, I think they might be Satan.
That's a bit of an exaggeration, don't you think?
I'm not allowed in the front cart.
Being punished?
I have to sleep in here with them.
Well, perhaps it's just, let's say, a test from God.
Oh, you sound like the guy who trained me.
Small world it is, after all.
Uh-huh. Oh, where are you off to, mister? Another mister? Hi.
Bit of
I
everywhere.
heard the
And
word of God.
Yeah.
I'm heading a bit of everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
I kind of meant in a more immediate session. Like, why are you walking through my cart?
Oh, lunch.
Oh, can I come with you? I don't want to walk past them alone, and I'm really hungry.
Of course, come my way. Come with us.
I assume you've got your shovel over your shoulder because you don't go anywhere without it.
I do. Are people staring at?
Not for long. The hard ass cowboy and the undertaker walk into the room, and everybody goes, "Oh shit!" And they start. Yeah, they're just doing their own stuff. The boys couldn't care less. The parents are just humiliated because of their children, and the other two are hammered. They don't care. They probably haven't even seen you yet. So can I come with you guys?
Yes, of course. Right this way. I'll lead the way to, I assume, the lunch corner.
You got to go right through this cart, out and into the next one. And as you start to lead away, he stands up and sort of looks at you, Jet, and says, "Are you always this quiet?"
I'm real tired, kid. So
You should
Yeah.
have a nap.
you should get onto the food cart if you know what's
Yes,
good
sir.
for you.
Absolutely, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Have you heard the word? Oh, yeah, I said so. I asked that already. Yeah, okay.
It does. Is he? I assume he's like sweating profusely.
Oh, it's
so,
bullets. He is just desperate.
so I say that, and I put my canteen in his hand. I was like, "Here, take a sip." It's water.
What's in it? It's water. Okay, so he kind of
I ain't that kind of cowboy.
like both hands just pouring it. It's running down the side of his face onto his white shirt. You get the impression he hasn't eaten or drink in a while.
Come on, kid. And I take my water canteen back.
Oh, thank you so much. Meanwhile, back in the other cart, you guys are going to move one more cart. We're going to get there. Back in the other cart, Alice, you're now sitting there by yourself. You sort of look up, and there's a couple of them left at the front, and the not the lady that watched the other gentleman, but the one that you haven't really paid much attention to yet, stands up and walks back to you. She is a redhead. She is dressed almost, but not quite, as well as you. Her hair is still done. I mean, she's clearly been on this train for a while, but her hair is still done, and she's managed to walk down the middle of this train like a sailor with sea legs. Like she is just absolutely straight down the middle. And without any preamble at all, she drops down across from you and looks across and says, "Hello, my name is Penelope Brown."
Okay, for the record, Alice's hair is red too. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Her dress is blue. Not quite as nice as yours.
Yeah, my dress is very, very red.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, Alice O'Hare, what can I do for you?
It is a pleasure to meet you. I just wanted to speak to a person who had more intelligence than that bunch.
Yeah, what? So are you with them or no?
I am with them only in that I am on the same train with them. There are the two who are pretending they are not together. The one who is not supposed to be in this cart. And me with this ridiculous accent.
If you think it's ridiculous, then why use it, darling?
It is not a choice, it is my accent. And she leans in and says, my real name is Anastasia Romanov. I am princess. She leans back.
Well, I'm a bit of a princess myself, but at least, that's what Daddy always said. He said you were a princess, at school. Anyway.
Do you have tiara? I have tiara.
Not on me, on my person, of course.
I have left
one
money
has
in
to.
Mother
One
Russia.
has to be. One has to do due diligence and make sure that the little ones that they don't know of our nature and stature.
Are you also mail order bride?
Lord heavens, no. Are you, darling?
It is part of cover story.
Ooh-wee. That is not a cover story I would want to write.
I am to go from princess to shipping magnate's wife. I don't even know what shipping magnate is. Her voice isn't quite this low, but not much higher.
Good to know. I assume Alice would know what that is.
Yeah, it's the person she's marrying runs a shipping company.
Yeah.
Oh.
And when is this wedding supposed to happen?
I am having 7 days left of freedom. Unless, of course, I kill him.
Okay, well, that might be a little bit. That might be a bit of a bold move, but maybe there's another way.
Do you know you are very trustworthy?
Why, of course.
I just realized I've told you everything you need to know to totally destroy me, and I have just met you.
Well, I'm not going to destroy you. Darling, I am just on a train.
And she reaches down her bodice and with 2 fingers pulls out a flask and spins the top off it, and she says, vodka?
No, more for you.
Oh, definitely for me. And she has a big swill and puts it back down in there. And you're thinking to yourself, that's body temperature vodka. That's probably pretty rancid. And she doesn't doesn't even start to sweat anymore. And she doesn't even blink, just like it was water.
Well, she is clearly a, Anyway, so Alice will say, "What? So where are you going? What are you going to meet this man you're supposed to marry?"
I am not going so much as I am running away. My entire family is killed. There was a revolution. I am the only surviving member of the line.
So, well, God bless your heart, darling. So why exactly are you a mail order bride then?
It is part of cover story. I have
Right,
come
you
to the
said
last
that.
place they expect me to come to.
Okay. So clearly, if your family was dead, then you were the only one that's alive. Clearly, they were all killed for a reason.
Yes, they claim the people have spoken and the monarchy has fallen. They, of course, are fools. We will rise again. There are many people in Russia working on my behalf.
But you're the one that had to run away.
I prefer to think of it as ruling in absentia.
I mean, as we do.
Vodka?
No, thank you. Oh God, that must be awful.
It was overwhelming urge to speak to someone. I appreciate you listening.
Have you figured anything out about the lesser intelligent beings up there?
If you put all of them together, intelligence would be lower than shoe size. And she smiles that she made you laugh.
Um, good to know. Good to know. Yeah, the one I'm traveling with, they seem to think something about all this magic nonsense. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Seems
Well,
to me like everything has an explanation.
magic is foolishness. We have banned it in Russia.
What, you can't ban what's not real.
That is what cynical people have said before. We are having them killed in the past when they are saying that. Now they are killing my family.
Oh well, I ain't going to kill you. Your family's already dead, so obviously I can't kill your family.
This is true. You are also not in Russia.
No, but happily so, if I do say so myself.
And she starts to wobble a little bit. Maybe it's the alcohol. Maybe it's the heat. She says, maybe I should go back to seat. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Wait. We have not shared. Is custom yes to share?
Share what?
I have told you one of my great secret. Shit, there's Gee is slipping out there. I have told you one of my secrets. Could maybe share one of yours so we are balanced. You are not forced to do so. I was not formal contract.
Well, let's just say this. Your family isn't the only ones in the world that are trying to start a revolution.
You are a very interesting person. I am glad I have spoken to you.
Of course. Well met, darling.
We are approaching the mountains. I return to my seat now. I wish to enjoy the views.
Of course.
And she nods to you in a weird way, which you get the impression that's a really deep show of respect from her. And if she's telling the truth and she's really a Russian princess, she just showed you some respect.
I'll do I'm sitting obviously, but I'll do yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. That little thing that you do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the eyebrow goes up and she nods again and stands and walks back to the front of the cart and sits down. Meanwhile, back in the back of the second cart, the two of you, as you're getting close to the back, you see the two hillbillies. One of them kind of elbows the other one, and he gets up and moves over. So now there's one sitting on the chairs on either side of the door that you have to go through to get to the lunch cart. And you sort of feel behind you this kid sort of backing up. He's leaving some space.
I thought I would have been with the kid in between me and him, so I'm assuming he backs up into me.
Bumps right into your chest. Sorry.
What's your problem, kid?
I'm afraid of them too.
Them?
And they were kind of grinning and looking around, kind of getting ready to do something. Clearly, they look up at the two of you. And one of them the one with just the jeans on, kind of grins and pulls part of his belly aside, and you can see the hilt of a knife sticking out of the top of his pants. And he grins at you with about 4 teeth.
If you want to keep them teeth, you better keep that in your pants, sir.
Roll me an overawe.
All right. Good thing I took that one level in it. I gotta remember I put it over here. Overall. Oh.
It wasn't great. It was your voice kind of squeaked a little bit when you said it. Like, if you want to keep those teeth, but it got through the haze. It got through the alcohol haze, and he kind of looks up at you and drops his belly, and it goes back over the handle of the knife. He looks over at his brother and says, "Let him go." And he starts to slide like as far away from the aisle as he can get. And you hear, as you walk between them, just as you step into the next car, you hear just behind you, one of them says to the other one, it's kind of hard to tell because they have very similar voices, but one of them says to the other one, "You see that first fella? I think he might be dead." and the three of you head through into the dining car, where you find a small stove, which is kind of freaky on a moving train. There's a red hot stove, and a little aisle. There's 4 tables. Each one can seat 4 people, but clearly they've got. There's other people ahead of you that are just getting food and heading back the way they came. So that's not a problem. You guys get up there and. What you want?
What do you have?
The daily special.
Which is?
Little bit of beef, little bit of potatoes, little bit of peas.
Lovely. I will take 5.
$10.
Pull out the money. Hand him $10.
Okay. Bring back the silverware and the plates when you're done.
Absolutely.
You guys make your way back up. Yep.
I give one to the kid immediately.
Yep. Oh, and he's just.
And I give.
He's got one
you-
down.
I give you 2.
The Jet too. Okay.
Yeah, Jet 2. I'm sure the lady would appreciate this if you brought her food.
Sure, I appreciate it, partner, but what do I owe you?
Nothing.
Well, I don't ever leave a debt unpaid, so I'm sure it'll work itself out.
Okay, I'll hold you to that.
Yes, sir. And but I look at him when he hands it to me, because I had that interaction and I was like, why do you want me to take it to her though?
I just smile at him and just. Has the kid done his food?
Oh yeah, he's snarfed it. It's just he's just standing there. Just,
I give him another one because like.
Thanks, Mister.
Slow down a bit. You want to keep that all in, okay?
Yeah, he's starting to bloat a little bit, and he's drinking all the water the guy will give him. They won't give him any alcohol.
Shall we? Then we proceed.
So you guys make your way back. You guys have your dinner or your lunch, whatever you want to call it, and you continue on down the tracks. It's not long later after you're finished lunch. The kid comes up and says, "I'll take your plates back for you. They're giving me some respect now that they saw me with you. I really appreciate it. I might even sleep tonight. Thanks.
Not a problem.
Thanks, you too, mister."
Sure thing, kid.
And he looks over at Alice and just goes, you just watch the blush just come right up his cheeks and up his face, and he kind of blurts out, "Miss, you're real pretty," and then starts to run towards the back of the cart. And with that, you guys move on. The train is now getting to the foothills and starting to climb. You guys, again, it starts to climb again. The first thing you notice is there's hills around you. You're going through the foothills into the mountains, and the first one you go behind, the lovely, blessed shade. I mean, it's only like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It is hot, but now there's this little bit of shade and this little bit of coolness in this valley that the train is heading up, and it's starting to get a little bit steeper and a little bit steeper. And again, you see that weird fellow with the bulging suit and the very tough hands. He keeps looking at his watch and looking at his watch. He's been nervous the whole time he's been back, and he stands up again and heads down past you and back into the other carts.
Fella's getting sick a lot.
Are we sure that's what he's doing?
Jet still believes that, right? Like, solidly.
Well, I mean, you saw him come back, and he didn't look like he'd been ill, so you might be wrong. You also saw him go into the next car and not stop between them, so.
Now that I think about it, I'm not sure.
I mean, there's some very interesting characters on this train with us.
You're telling me.
How so? Sounds like you might know something.
Not about them. I know about, and I'll kind of, as discreetly as possible, point out the woman that came and sat and talked to me.
Lady Anastasia Romanov.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you really paying attention, yes, I moved the Russian Revolution backwards in time a little bit, but this is an alternative reality. I'm allowed to do that.
It's all good. It's all good. It was really tempting not to, because Sarah, speak Russian. So
Oh, yeah, you just screwed me over. I got nothing.
But I'll tell them kind of, I'm not going to give them everything, but, you know.
Yep. And the track starts getting steeper and steeper, and you can hear the steam engine starting to work. The steam's getting thicker, the smoke's getting thicker. Every once in a while, you hear that squeak as the wheels slip a little bit as they're starting to climb. And then don't need to make a test for me. You guys all see it at the same time. The back door of the cart that you're in slams open, and the cook, hat askew, comes running down the aisle of the cart. He's not even looking at you guys, just headlong sprinting towards the front of the train. He runs past you.
No, that is definitely strange.
That's my cue, folks. And I get up and I immediately have my hand on my pistol and start walking the direction he came from.
Looks
Towards
like
the back?
Yep.
Okay. He's heading towards the front. Okay. The other two?
I join him and I say, well, it looks like I'll be getting to work today early.
And he says that
Also
behind
the
me.
edge of a shovel. Checking his measuring tape.
Yeah,
Alex?
I like for people who aren't looking, I go like it's just quickly like go take notes and just measure random people.
So the boys are puffed up, all being brave and heading towards the back. What is Alice doing?
Alice will, I guess, follow, but she is like very hastily getting like uncovered. You can see now that the big thing that she has been carrying is being uncovered as she's hastily taking all of the covering off of it in case she needs to use it. You can see now that it is a camera.
Yeah, like one of those nice big old school ones, the big wooden box with the bellows on the front.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a big, large format
the
camera.
flash powder and the whole bit. Yeah,
She does also. She has a more portable one too, but that
would be in baggage. Yeah.
I would have known that she had this camera, right?
Probably by this point.
Yeah, I mean, she's you are her story, so she's probably at least told you that she's a reporter. Right?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The three of you head towards the back of the cart. As you get closer to the back, you hear a weird thing because it's not a thing. The cart behind you is quiet. There's no screaming kids. There's no loud hillbillies. And as you open the door between the two and open the second door into the back one, you see all of them are shoved up against the front of the cart. They're all up close to you against the wall. Even the hillbillies, like they look like they've sobered up. There's just fear in their faces. And the back door is the back door is open. You can see into the food cart. And beyond that, because the food cart's not that long and you're going more or less straight up a hill, so you can see right through the food cart. The back door of the food cart is also open, and there's no train beyond that point.
Huh.
The baggage car and the caboose are gone.
Do I see the man with the that's beneath me clearly?
No, you do not. There is nobody except for the people that were in that second cart. You saw the cook run through, heading towards the edge.
Everybody up front. Go, move.
As you turn around to head back to the front, you feel a judder as the train starts to slow down. You're going up a hill, so it's kind of a sudden jolt, and you hear this scream of brakes as they're being applied.
But we're still going uphill, right?
Oh, yeah, and you're slowing down, and then you hear... It's a huge explosion. I don't want to blow up anybody's ears, so I didn't get right in here and do this. But it's a huge explosion. You're in an enclosed valley. You know what this is. This is dynamite and lots of it. It's coming from in front of the train. You hear the and then the think, 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 think.
Something tells me that we are aboard a train robbery, boys.
It sounds like something in front of you has exploded. The brakes apply even harder. The train slams forward. You guys each make me just a straight deftness or nimbleness. Just a trait roll, whatever those traits are.
Oof.
Should be on the left-hand side, cognition, deftness, knowledge, nimbleness.
Okay, so just nibble.
Just a total nimbleness roll, yeah.
Oh, I did deafness.
Either or, yeah, deafness or that, whichever one's better for you. Okay, so yeah, Alice, you reach over and grab the back of a chair, and then you place your hand on Lucius's back to continue to support because he's a proper gentleman. This should be obvious that he's supposed to support you. In so doing, he wasn't expecting it, and you shoved him, and he goes forward and drives into the edge of one of the chairs and folds over. You take... oh, look at that. It drives up under your ribs, and it hurts. Oh, damn, it hurts. But there's no wound as such. There's no permanent damage. It's just going to be a hell of a bruise. You do, however, take 2 wind.
I'm terribly sorry, milady. I did not expect that to happen.
So what you can do,
I'm
you see
very
your
fond
token.
of him right now.
You see this, your token on the page right now. If you click on your token, you'll end up with 3 little circles above it. Lucius, because you're the one that got hit.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, on your token on the page.
Yep.
Yeah, just click on your token.
Okay. Click.
And then you should see 3 little circles above it.
Okay. 3 little circles above it.
There's a green circle with a number in it, and a red circle with a number in it, and a blue circle that doesn't have a number in it.
Not the chips, the token.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, right up here.
Okay, I have it. I'm just not seeing any dots. Let's see.
Okay. For right now, I'll do it for you. If you just click on your token, it should get a blue square around it, and above
okay.
it, 3 dots. Okay, where it says 18, just click that and type in -2.
Okay. Wait, so take the. All I'm getting is take card or flip card.
Oh, not over on the cards. Go right on your character, your actual thing that I'm about to move. So that thing. Did you see that on the screen?
Yes. Do that one more time. Sorry.
Yeah, this thing here.
If I'm being honest.
You can't see it either. You guys are on
I
underneath where it says the posse.
I was
You
like,
guys got no. Oh, never mind. I got you on the other map.
Oh, okay.
I fixed this. Yeah, this is where it shows. Yeah, this is where the skill shows. -2. Okay, I did it for you. When you have access to your tokens, you'll know soon enough. I just did it for you right now. You've got 16 wind left out of 18. That's all you need to know for right now. First technical glitch of the night goes to Kevin. Yeah.
Kevin.
Go, Kevin.
So you guys, you're slammed forward underneath the ribs. You're trying to stand up straight because you're supposed to. You're a gentleman. You're trying to help the lady.
Yeah.
Push yourself back to your hands, back up to your feet. Meanwhile, Jet, you just sort of reached out with an arm and grabbed like a back of another chair, and you spun with it and kind of rotated a little bit on your heel, almost like a dance move, and you stayed vertical and don't take any damage. So the 3 of you kind of spin. You look up at the front of the cart. Everybody else, and then the train suddenly slams to a stop, and you hear, and then bang! It moves forward about 15 feet. The whole train just slams forward. You get your feet and then slam forward again as it drops about another 30 feet. Give me another deafness roll each, please.
Okay. Can I use one of those tokens perhaps to be more prepared? I don't know.
Nope. Well, you can. I mean, you can roll first, and then you can decide whether you use one of the chips if you want to improve.
Okay.
It.
After the fact.
Yeah. That's the nice part with the chips. So. Never mind, you're fine. This time you see it coming, and you kind of parkour up and over the steps and come down over the chair and come down between the next ones. Alice, you've learned not to trust the Undertaker anymore, and you grab a chair yourself. And Jet,
You said nimbleness is okay? Or
nimbleness or deafness, whichever you prefer. Yep. Same thing yourself. At this point, you there's chairs that like they kind of come down and go like that. So you just spin around and sit in one that's actually going the right direction. So when it slams, you just kind of come to a stop. You're also taking no damage this time. You look up, and the other people at the other end of the cart, they're all over the place. Some of them are on the floor. The two hillbilly brothers are openly weeping over their broken bottle. Their jug is broken on the floor, and they're trying to scoop up the little bits that are left and trying to drink out of the shattered remains. Everybody else in this cart is wounded in some way, shape, or form, and you have to assume that probably the cart ahead of you is the same way. What it feels like is like the train stopped, tipping over the edge of something broken. And as you look out the window, you see that that's the case. You are just barely off of a trestle that goes out over this valley. And that trestle has been blown out in the middle. And the engine balanced and went. That was the first jerk. And then it crept and it crept and it crept. And then the coal car went and slam. And the engine hit the ground. The coal car jams behind it like this. And that pivot point is the only thing holding the rest of the train from falling into the pit. You hear, as the silence descends and the clanging, and you hear the of the steam engine bursting. And in the immediate silence after that, you hear, "Get 'em, boys!" And that's where we'll take our break.
Well, hooey! We only just begun this story and it's already flying off the rails. Can these old cowboys make their way out of this situation? Let's find out when we come back on Poison Paradise. Hooey, have you hugged now, Bear? I love that song. Oh, I got distracted though. Anyways, we're in the middle of a train situation. Let's check it on out.
So, just before we had our break, there was a horrible train crash. And just to make things worse, turns out it was on purpose. And now there's somebody attempting to rob this train. Everybody roll your quickness for me. For every 5 or multiple of 5, you're going to get a card. Oh, Jet.
Oh.
Okay, let's see what I got. Oh, wait, no. Oh boy, no rolls.
Oh.
So, Jet, you come a bit unstuck. This is like you're sitting in that chair, all confident, overconfident of yourself. You look out the window and say, "Oh, damn, we're surrounded." You reach down to grab your weapon and you kind of fumble a little bit. You're not going this turn.
Probably the same point.
Alice, you are almost as badly shaken. You're going once on the count of the deuce because you got less than a 5.
Yeah.
Sam, you get to draw 1 card
That's better than nothing.
because you got over 5. The baddies get to draw 2.
So just the red ones, right?
Yep, that's the only ones you should be able to get to.
Okay. What's going on here? Why you not let me do that? Okay, hold on.
I can deal them to you. How many do you get? 1?
Like it's not giving me that option. It's just Marshall's deck.
That's the wrong deck.
Oh,
That's my
I thought
deck.
it was the red. Okay, sorry.
No, you can't get in there. Go down to the bottom on the
Well,
posse
it was
deck.
a good test. Okay.
My system worked. You can't get in there.
Okay, then click on the card above me, and I throw it out, right?
Nope, wait till just check what it is so you know
Okay.
what they are.
Okay.
And I'm going to start at aces and count my way down. And when we get to your card, stop me. So at the start of the turn, aces, kings, queens, jacks,
Nope.
10s,
Nope.
9s,
Nope.
8s. The
Nope.
bad guys get to go at 8.
Darn, it's so close.
I'm just going to drag that card over there. You hear out of the forest one loud voice scream, Get them, boys! Don't let them get off the train! And a hail of fire starts to surround this place. There are so. Luckily, you guys being inside the train have got quite a bit of cover, and very quickly you realize that if you stay away from the windows, it's going to be quite difficult for them to shoot. The first round of fire, 2 rounds at Alice, nope, and nope. They slam. You hear them just on the other side of this thick wooden frame that builds up the train. You hear boom, boom, and you look over to see these little splinters sort of explode out of the inside of the wall and dapple the side of your face. They don't do any real damage, but if that train hadn't been there, you'd have been in trouble. Next, 2 into Jet. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Wait a minute. Rolling the wrong numbers. Dun, dun, dun. I have to shoot first before I do damage. That probably makes sense, right? So take all that back. The first 2. Second technical screw up. Also to Kevin. Here we go. And
Kevin's on a roll.
I'm the one that's supposed to have played this before. First 2 shots. Look at that. Exactly the same results. I am psychic. That's exactly what happened there. So yes, exactly what I said happened. The next 2 at Jet. Again, that one doesn't even hit the cart. Neither does that one. One of them, you hear it ping over the roof. The other one smashes a window 2 seats away from you. And the last 2 at Lucius. Not that. Oh dear. The first one, sort of, you feel it whiz past your forehead and it just catches the tip of your hat. You reach up to steady your hat, and
it's a very expensive hat.
It is a very nice hat.
Do I see who shot my hat? Because that probably.
You look out the window and absolutely, you see him grinning at you, and you take 1 wound to your left arm. So if you go to the combat stuff page.
Sure.
Top left corner, left arm.
Okay.
Yeah, where it says, just click that open up menu and just click it where it says light.
Combat stats, right?
Yep, combat stuff is the page.
You said light?
The top row, yep, just click that to light. And what that means is everything you do from now on is got a -1 to the roll.
Okay.
Now we're going to see how much wind you take.
Where is the light?
Yeah.
First off, I see left leg, arm, right leg.
Yeah. Top left corner is L arm. Left arm?
Oh, L arm, okay.
Yeah.
And just -1? Light. Okay, there.
Yeah, just go to light.
Okay. Onto wind, you said, right?
Yeah, and then now that you can see, now that you've actually got your character on screen and you can see him, if you can see him in the cart.
Okay.
You can click on the token, and now those numbers will come up that I was talking about before that didn't make any sense before.
Okay.
So you click on him, he should be at 16 out of 18 right now.
16. I just see the green says 16, the blue.
Yep, so click on that 16 and just type in -3. You just took 3 more wind.
Okay, -3, so it should be at 13, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you reach up, that first shot just sort of catches the brim of your hat. You reach up to correct your hat and fit it, and he shoots you right through the left wrist. And you see bits of bone and gristle splinter and blow out the other side, and you kind of look as your hand sort of flops over for a second, kind of useless. You shake it off and continue. Anybody else with 8s? Nope.
I have
7s?
Yep, 7 spade.
Okay. What suit?
Spade.
Spades? Okay. Oddly, I have exactly the same card.
Huh.
Tie goes to you, so you can go first.
Okay.
Looking out the window, you can see what you can see.
I look at the guy who shot me
Yep.
and give him the biggest Okay, how far is he?
Let me see from where you are. Let's just do this. I can do Control L on you so I can see. You got shot by. I'm just going to move you to there so you can see. You got shot by this guy.
Okay, is that about 30 feet away?
Each one of these is 2 yards. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 yards away.
Okay, because it only works if the guy's 30 feet away.
Everything's in yards. So if it says 30, that means within 30 yards.
Okay, so there is enough. Okay, so I'm going to attack him with intimidation and kind of yell at him.
Sure. Yep.
So adding to the 2 abilities, which is the voice, which is threatening, and the stare,
Yep.
which is the +2/+2, and with
Yeah, give me an overawe with +4.
and that's already max 2. So let me just roll for that
Going to
first.
roll his.
Give me 2 seconds. Okay. I will roll the overall. Okay. Really?
Yeah. So yeah, you yell out the window. What do you yell at him?
I yell at him. It's like, "Hey, buddy, that was a very expensive hat."
And he yells back, "Yeah, they can bury you in it."
Not if I bury you first.
Okay, so you still that was yeah, you could still move if you like. Out of the way if you wish.
He rolled leadership.
Did I?
Yeah. I saw that. I was
Did I? Oh my.
Is your overall different?
Yeah. It's
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
Sorry about that. Thank you for being honest. I'm sorry about that. Okay.
Okay, that made a big difference. He looks at you and says, "Yeah, it is a nice hat. You want to live? Get the hell out of that cart."
You want to live? You buy me a new hat.
And you look out the window, and he's starting to line up the next shot on you. I mean, you're scary as hell, but this boy's desperate. So, anything else?
Yeah, I will move a bit. Let's see.
You're now, if you click on your character again in that blue circle, yours is an 8. That is how many. That's how many spaces you can move in a total round, making up all the turns. So if you had 3 cards, you could move a total of 8 spaces spread over 3 actions. If on any one action, because you've only got 1 action, you can move. But if you move more than half of that, then everything you do from that point on is at a -4 penalty because you're running.
Right, which makes sense. Okay, well, I just want to move. If I don't know if there's any cover, probably not. So,
Yep. If you physically move to a place where you can't see anybody, then they can't see you.
so probably like, because these are the windows, probably like,
Yeah, pretty much right back where you were. There's probably the best spot. Yeah.
or like you're here. Okay, you know what? I will move here. There we go. Okay, yeah.
All right, back to them. On their 7. Same process as before. 2 at Alice. Slam into the hardwood exterior. Luckily, this company builds their trains really, really well. Jet, that hits, and that hits. You sort of slam your back against the wall, and the bullets hit the wall, but they go through where more or less where shots have gone before. So both of those shots hit you, doing the first one 1 wound to your upper guts, and the second one does 2 wounds to your left arm.
Left arm. So that would be light or heavy?
It's 2 is just the second step. I think it's light, heavy, severe. Yeah, there's the second one down.
All right, and then guts is 1 light. All right.
Yep. And you take a total of 17 wind.
Oh, wow. That
So you
puts me
lean
well.
forward. You take the 2 shots, you look down and say, "This isn't how it's supposed to end." You're not dead, but you are in such shock from looking down and seeing the 2 large holes in you that at the moment you are out of this fight. As soon as it's your turn, you can burn a chip if you wish to get that back. But welcome to combat in Deadlands. 1 shot at he's landing.
Welcome to the end of our campaign.
And then finally 2 shots against Lucius.
Okay.
First one slam into the metal framing around the window. The window shatters and glass goes everywhere. The second one goes through that open window that's already broken and shatters and blows out the window on the other side of the cart. Apparently only Jet is cursed today. 6s. 5s. 4? Lucius? 3?
Oh,
You're the only one that's got a card left that isn't going on. Oh, and then Jet
it's still a
doesn't-
7.
Oh.
Remember?
Oh, okay.
Wait,
So
he already won.
I spent that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
you only
they
got the one. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So in that case, Alice, you're
Yeah.
it. You look over and Jet is laying on the floor trying to stuff his guts back into his belly.
Should I just throw the card aside?
You just drag it out onto the map and then drag it over next to the pile like you would if it was a discard pile.
Okay, just disappeared in the darkness, literally.
Okay, yeah, that's all good.
Well, I'll have as a rifle weapon wise, so I assume I don't have it.
You would not have it with you, no.
Okay.
You could look around and see if there's anything in this area.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can't make some of my photochemicals into some sort of Molotov.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, give me a tinkering skill. I love this. Give me a tinkering roll.
So that's an
And we get to see the tinkering mechanic. Too bad you're only rolling one die, I think.
yeah.
Do well. A 9. Excellent. You know this stuff. You know what the acids are. You know what the bases are.
Yeah.
You know if you mix the two of those and put them in a container, it's going to go boom. So yeah, you quickly take the two containers. You kind of dump out half of the developer, pour it into the other one, slam a cork in the top, and you can feel it starting to shake in your hands. Draw for me, if you will, 6 cards and see if you can't make a poker hand out of them.
Let's try
Let's
this.
see how much boom it gets. So just drag your best 5 onto the table so we can see it.
Okay, I got a joker. So is the
Black or red?
red?
Red. Okay, red is the good joker. That means it's a card you can use for anything in a poker hand, or alternately, if you get it in initiative order, you can use it as any number.
Okay.
So it's probably also a good time to mention the black joker. If it comes up at the end of you have to use it on your first action in that turn, so you have to use it as an ace. And the second your turn is done, the whole round is done. Everybody throws their cards away and moves on to the next round. So it's kind of like a free action for you. And
So
everybody
I clearly want to move that out.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, that's where that 7 went. Okay, here's 7. I'll put it over there. There we go. If you do need help with poker hands, it's in the tables. There is a list of poker hands.
Well, I don't have much here, so I'm just going. I think 3 of a kind is the best that I'm gonna do here.
That's not a poor hand.
Yeah.
At all. So it doesn't really matter what the other 2 are. So just drag those other ones over there, put them in the discard pile.
Okay.
We use poker hands in this game to simulate. It's quite literally mental combat with a spirit. This is an entity that is not of this plane. They can't come into this plane except through.
That's not actually what's happening.
That is not what Alice believes at all. Alice believes in her own sweet talent. And today, Alice's sweet talent has made her an exceptionally explosive device. You can feel it vibrating in your hands, just waiting to blow up.
I look at her with a bit of confusion, but also in awe.
There's a smell, a horrible smell coming out of this jug as the corks is just vibrating.
Yeah, I imagine he's like, this fancy lady just made a bomb.
Yeah.
But also, she just said that she didn't believe in magic.
Yeah, and did something which appears to be, to you, appears to be quite magical, but to her seems perfectly reasonable.
I mix chemicals. I don't know. It's all I do. I mix chemicals.
And Jet, you know what? This is horrible for Jet, but it is absolutely one of those cases where the dice have done exactly what they're supposed to do. You just got shot twice in the guts. You were winded, but you didn't have a turn this turn anyway, so it didn't really make much difference.
So does that How does the negative in wind work? Like, is there a death roll as far as like you take saving throws kind of thing, or is it like
If you get to negative your wind, so if you had 16 wind, if you get to negative 16 wind and you don't get a medicine check within 10 minutes, you will die.
I was just gonna ask, like, can my medicine check help him?
Absolutely, yeah. Medicine check does a certain amount of healing. That's also in the tables as well.
so I took 17, so I was at -3.
Yep.
And what did that do? You just said
Nothing. Not until you get to negative your wind. So you had, what did you say your total was? 13?
it was 13 from the first time, but you just said I got shot again.
No, that's fine. No, as long as you don't go to whatever your original total wind was 13, right? So as long as you never go past negative 13 wind, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, wounds that you take are those affect your ability to function. So they affect your attacks.
All right.
So if you were wondering about healing, if you go to the rules and tables in your journals, partway down there is one called healing, and it shows you medicine rolls. So if your fine undertaker makes a roll, it shows you the difficulty and how much it will heal. And it also shows you how much the chips will heal as well.
Okay, what page is this?
If it's in your journal, and it's called healing.
Okay, let's see.
But you guys are right in the middle of combat right now,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we finished that. That round is over. So we start the next round. Everybody, give me a quickness roll.
Okay.
Even little old me.
Yep, you're still. Well, I mean, you still get to go, so you still get to roll. You're still awake. That's the thing with wind is you're not unconscious. You're just incapable of fighting.
Gotcha.
Woohoo!
Witness.
Alice wants to throw that cocktail. Clearly.
Wow. Oh, just wow.
All right, so Alice, draw 2 cards. I get 1 card. Lucius gets 1 card, and Jet gets 1 card. Almost 2.
Excuse me.
Oof. Jet is not.
Everybody got their cards?
Mhm.
Aces.
Aces, baby.
What suit?
I think that's the spades.
That would go first. They've got an ace as well, but it's a heart. So to do that, if you look at the very top of each of these pages, of course I picked the only page I haven't done it on, there is an order that goes spades, diamonds, hearts, clubs. That's the order that they go in. So spades gets to go first. So there it is. Alice, your first turn. This thing is starting to get hot in your hands. It's sizzling.
Do I think I can throw it as far as
You can certainly try.
like how far is let's see.
What's your strength? And do you have throwing as a skill?
Let's find out. I do not have throwing as a skill.
Okay, so that would just be throwing as under nimbleness?
It's under deafness.
Deafness. So you would just do a straight roll 1 of the die for your deafness and subtract 4 from the total. But you get the feeling if you get this thing anywhere close, it's going to be a problem for whoever it lands close to.
So my deafness is already 1d12.
Okay, so yeah, roll 1d12 and subtract 4 from the result.
So let's see.
Just roll you can that would be a keep 1. You can
Okay.
click on that box, and then it'll ask you how many. Just say 1, and it'll say D12, exclamation point, K1.
That's an 8.
Okay. Where are you throwing it?
I'm trying to throw it at this one that's like right in front of me.
So the one that's to the
This one?
north? This one up
Yeah.
here? The one with the yellow dot?
Yep. Yeah, that yellow-bellied bastard.
All right, you fling it up in that general direction, and it lands a little short. It lands sort of here. And as it lands, you see it, it just vaporizes. It just ceases to be in this sort of white, misty ball of foam. And you see on the outside rim of this foam, riding the shockwave, these chunks of glass that made up the container of it, and it acts basically like a grenade going off just at their feet. I would like you to roll for me using keep all, because this is damage. I would
Okay.
like you to roll 4d6.
4d6. That's a 23.
23 as your total for that. Okay, that is one. Oh, wow, that is 4 wounds. Roll me a d20.
Alice is using that brain.
Way over on the far left side, that's question mark D.
Okay, so just the.
D20, and that doesn't add, or that one doesn't explode.
Okay. That's an 18.
There we go. That is. Quickly scooting over here, and 18 is. Where'd it go? There it is. Oh, ho, ho. Okay. 4 wounds to there. You don't even need to roll wind for this. He looks down as it explodes, and he starts to step behind the tree, but it doesn't work. A huge chunk of glass, like the thick end of the neck with the cork still in it, but the other side, the sharp side, just catches him just below the breastbone. And you see he's wearing some sort of vest that almost stops the damage, but because of what you hit him with, it doesn't. And you watch as his belly is just ripped open from side to side, and he spins and falls on the ground, and he makes one little goes rigid for a second and drops. You just did an unbelievably rare thing and one-shotted somebody in Deadlands.
Ingenuity.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I see this, I'm like, why, my dear lady, I do love your spontaneous ingenuity.
Alice would be like, can we talk about that? Like, oh God, sorry, Jobetta came out.
Bound to happen.
She'll say, can we talk about that later?
Absolutely. I should tend to your friend.
Are you moving at all?
Uh,
No, this is still Alice. It's still her turn. So.
okay.
Oh, I mean, I can try, but I ain't got no medicine.
So, I mean, you used an action already, but you still have a move left. You can always.
I feel like they're not gonna be very happy with what I just did.
Mm-hmm.
Can I duck as my movement?
Yeah.
Just where I
duck down
am,
behind the
just
seats and give yourself even more protection. Absolutely.
kind of shelter in place there.
Yep, you just drop down behind the thickest part of the wall. You find sort of a metal framework that's holding the chairs in place, and try and make yourself real small and get behind that.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing because it's their turn, and yeah, you just drew their attention. So right now they can only see 2 of you. Jet's fallen below the field of view. So there's 5 of them left. 3 of them are going to have a poke at Alice because you just shot their friend.
Yeah.
But because you are hiding, they are basically blind shooting into the side of the carriage, hoping against hope that the bits and pieces get through and try and hurt you that way. So, first guy, no. Second guy, no. I mean, it's not even close. You hear them pinging off the metal undercarriage below you.
Mm-hmm.
The third one, nope. He shoots right where the other 3. All 3 of them shot the same spot underneath. The other 2 from the other side start shooting towards Lucius, who's in the corner, again under quite a bit of cover. Second one hits.
Okay.
The first one shatters the last remaining piece of glass. All the glass in this place is now gone. The sound of the gunfire inside and outside your ears are just pounding and ringing. You take 2 wounds to the right leg.
Okay, just give me a second.
And I gotta roll some wind.
2 wounds to the right leg.
So everything you do now, that's your worst wound. Everything you do now is at -2. Ooh. And when you're done that, let me know.
2 wounds to the right leg. Okay, so
Yep.
does that mean I go to heavy?
Yeah, you just go 2 further down the list from where you were. If you
On
weren't
right leg, because
Yeah,
last time was
the
my
other one
arm.
was left arm. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. This one you
Check.
were sort of leaning against a wall, and a shot came in, and the shrapnel from the wood on the inside of the wall is what actually drove into the side of your leg. These pants are ruined.
That's why we have spares.
And once you've got those on there, you also take 13 points of wind.
I want to mention.
Remember,
that
every time you guys take a wound, you can burn a chip to get rid of it, to
True.
prevent it from happening.
I also have an ability that I believe that helps me to prevent 2 of that. Just let me find. What was it? Second. It's called.
Tough as nails or something.
I think that just adds to your total win, doesn't it? Because I think Jet has that. I thought.
Was it tough? No, it was. I could be wrong. It was actually. But I know it affects wind. I just wanted to double check that quickly. Sorry.
Yeah, not a problem. If it affects wind, we probably already had it, and we can make the adjustment if you find it. Well, before your next
Was
round.
it Nerve of Steel, I believe?
Nerves of Steel. Okay, and what does that say?
Let's see.
That just makes it so you won't run
Oh,
away.
if I whenever the character fails a gut check. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, that's not happening now. These guys are just regular people. This is a regular gunfight. There's no need for a gut check here. So,
Okay. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Never mind then.
and for the moment, they're going to stay where they are. Basically, they're ducking out from behind trees, taking shots at you, not very accurately and not very well, and then ducking back in. And at the end of their turn, you hear the that one voice that you've heard a couple times now yells out again, "Damn it, boys, get in there!" But nobody seems to move. Kings, queens, jacks, tens, nines. Really, guys? Eights?
Yes.
Okay. Drag that 8 out on there, and it's your turn.
Okay. 8 of clubs. 8 of clubs. Okay. Okay. I'm going to, and I don't know if I can make it since I'm taking a massive amount of negatives, but I'm going to basically run to Jet.
Okay. What's your movement?
Let's see. It is 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's 7.
You can get to him, but
yeah, I'll be behind Alice, and there's also enough cover, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's plenty of cover. The only thing is, because you've run in this turn, if you do a medicine check on him at this turn, it'll be at -4.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Mhm.
Okay.
So yeah,
Can you
drag your
hurt-
character over there?
Can you hurt someone with a medicine check?
No, this is not my my Goliath war cleric in another setting.
Whew.
That sounds fun. Okay,
Yeah.
so I will do a medicine check. It's like, okay, let's take a look at you. I'm a little bit wounded here, like yourself. Not as bad as you, but let's see what we can do, friend.
So yeah, give me a healing roll.
Okay, under.
Now, are you trying to fix his wind, or are you trying to fix his wounds?
At this point, I think wound would be probably the most important.
Well, the thing is, if you don't fix his wind, he doesn't get back in the fight.
Okay, that's true. Okay,
It's also easier to heal.
Okay, you know what? Wind it is. Okay, with a massive amount of negatives. Let me just find my medicine roll. Okay. And it's only a 2, so.
Yeah, so give me 2.
Second. -4, that's 8.
8, not a problem. You
It was a 12.
yeah, this is one of those places where I slightly fudged the rules. You made that plus a success. You sort of reach down and very quickly, using your medical experience, shove his guts back in the hole and kind of use a bandage to sort of like a sticky bandage out of your medicine pack, because you would have one, to basically stick his guts back together.
Okay, buddy.
Jet, as you look down and see this, you kind of snap out of this stupor and you remember who you are and what you are. And in this case, because he succeeded, you get back 2 because he succeeded, +1, so 3 back right now. and because of what he did, you're going to get 1 back every round.
Okay, so if he gave me 3 back, I'm at 0 right now then, right? Because I was at -3.
That is correct, yeah.
Okay,
So,
and
so pardon me, on your next turn, you'll be able to do something to make yourself better.
okay.
You're back at, you're past the panic, but you're not sort of stood up yet.
All right. So I imagine while he was doing this, I just had that like grip on his arm, and I was just
You're
like,
just looking at him like, don't let me die, don't let me die, don't let me die.
Easy there, cowboy. We're gonna be okay.
and real reassuring words from somebody who's putting him in the ground, but I do appreciate it.
I try.
And that was 8s. Any other 8s? 7s? 6s? What do you guys got?
Have a 4.
Alice? Alice? Or you're muted.
I have a 3.
A 3. Okay, 4. Go ahead, Jet.
Yeah, let me drag. How do I drag it out like this? So I gotta think real quick because I can take this fate chip white.
Yep.
So I can
you
get
get
myself
5 win
back
back
up.
right away. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna burn a white chip. Now, what is the process in that? Do I drag it somewhere?
Yeah, just drag it over here between the dead cards.
Well, I don't see it on this screen.
Oh, they're stuck on the other screen. Okay, keep
Oh,
track. You've got to. Yeah.
I have them in my inventory, so I'll knock it down in there.
Yeah,
So,
that's
I'm gonna
perfect.
burn one of those. And does that take up your turn, or is that just a side thing?
Again, me fudgy rules. That's like a
Free action
it
bonus.
does, yeah, exactly. It's a free action, even though those don't officially exist in this game.
All right. So
So
I've got.
you just focus. You think about your family, and your father's voice says, "Get up, son." You just shut up and get up. So, what would you like to do?
Well,
Look
I've
back
got
out
my
the windows. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my pistol. I see the other 2. I don't think it's a terribly good idea to stay here, but at the same time, I don't know. I guess I'm going to move up. So this window to my left is going to be my vantage point. So I'm going to move right here, and I guess see nothing. All I see from there is a man who's now dead.
You've moved once. Oh, you could. There's another one way over here. You can just barely see them.
Oh,
right. Or you can
okay.
keep moving. You've still got. What's your movement?
It is. Ooh, let me pull that. I believe it's 10, but I could be very wrong. Pace is 10. Yeah.
10. So you've only moved 1. You could move 4 more and still not have any penalties to what you're doing.
Okay, so I'm gonna move 1 this way, and I can barely see that one down there.
Absolutely. So you lean out the window and pull that trigger.
Yep. And that will be. Let me pull that up. That's gonna be my peacemaker keeper.
Yep. So roll me a shooting pistol.
I'm still getting used to this.
We are all still getting used to this.
So
And you
I
have
roll
to do
shooting.
2 horrible mistakes before you catch up with me. So just
That's pistol shooting, which means I'm.
wow. You draw your pistol and hang it out the window, and the action of doing that kind of pulls the tape that's holding your belly together, and you cringe just as you pull the trigger, and the shot fires off into space. What is the rate of fire on that?
That is. Oh, I forgot that's a
double action.
thing.
It's a double action weapon. They were all using single action. Yay! Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's. Well, it says rate of fire is 1.
Okay. In that case, it's 1 per round. So yeah.
All right. Oh man. Let's see. Did I? So I was aware and awake for when she threw that explosive thing.
Oh
right?
yeah. I mean, it rocked the whole train.
I wonder. Okay, so can you give someone something? As I know bonus actions aren't a thing, and I know you get 1 action, but like if you were giving someone something out of your pack, what is that? Is that a
To dig it out of your pack and hand it to somebody, that's going to take a whole action.
okay? Well, then I'm just gonna.
If it was like, I don't know, like you pulled off a ring and gave it, that would be different. But if you got to get into your pack, that's definitely an action.
Okay, well then I'm gonna take this opportunity to looking around. Where is the best little nook for cover?
Probably like right in that corner.
Uh,
Off into the corner and hunker down on the floor like Alice is doing.
yeah, I'm just gonna
Much
like
wall between you and them as possible.
I pulled that shot off and it went off, and I could feel everything kind of shifting around inside. So I just fall in that corner and kind of like try to collect myself.
Yep. All right, Alice, this hero that you followed into the wild, wild west, his guts were hanging out a second ago. He was out of the game, squealing like a baby. And then he finally got a shot off, and he apparently attempted to shoot the sun. The Undertaker is across the way, just healed him, and is on his hands and knees on the floor. You look around; they're still all over the place. What would you like to do?
Do I know which direction the kind of leader voice came from?
It's coming from right up here by the cliff face.
Okay, so the one that I can clearly like see.
The purple one, if you can see his dot. Yeah.
Okay, so I got no weapons,
Yep.
so Alice is gonna try. Let's see. He's not close enough for overall, is he?
No, he's well. I mean, you could yell at him. I'm not all that picky with the rules. Sure, have a yell.
All right. Well, Alice is gonna try to yell at him, and she's gonna say, "Well, seems like I've killed one of your friends. Shall I kill the rest of you?"
Give me an overall. Not that tough to beat. Oh,
Nope.
dear.
Nope.
You hear him say back, unless you want to burn a chip for a reroll or an ad.
Is that a thing I can do?
Yep. If you click on those fate chips, if you use a white one, you can just add a die, roll one more die. If you burn a red one, if you've got one, you can add a die and add it to your current roll.
I've got a white one. I don't know where. Are they on this map?
Mm-mm.
Did
I
they
don't
carry
either map.
But you've got 3 white ones, if I remember correctly. So
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll use one of those.
Okay. Remember that you've got 2 and roll one more. So now you can use the keep 1 and just roll 1 d10.
Because that was. Again, I have no weapons, so it's really it's all I got. Oh!
By 1. You hear him say, y'all ain't got any more of them explosives, do you?
I sure do.
And there's a certain fear in his voice. That was your action?
Yeah. And then
I believe that was that your card, or did you still have one more?
no, that was my card. I'll discard it right now. Yeah, that was my action. That was my card. And I'm just. I assume I would have like stood up, yelled, and then hunkered back down.
Drop back down again. Absolutely. As you stood up and yelled, you looked around and you got the. Actually, give me a scrutinize.
All right.
See what you saw. It was kind of quick. You popped up, popped back down.
That's a 14.
Yeah, that is almost. That's a success and almost 2 raises. You noticed. You looked around and you saw 2 or 3 of them out there. They're all starting to kind of back off.
Yeah.
They definitely don't look like they're still into this. They weren't. You get the impression they weren't expecting a fight.
Yeah. I'm gonna say they're scared.
All right. So quickness, one more time. This is probably going to end this round. They're only getting 1 card.
Hey.
Well, that's a lot better.
So Jet gets 2 cards. Sarah goes on the deuce, and Lucius gets 1 card.
All right.
So, aces, kings, queens, jacks. That was just an intake of breath. 10s.
That's me.
All right. Drag out that 10 and tell me what you're going to do. You stand up and look out the windows, and yeah, you can see they're starting to back away.
So do I think I would have noticed that they looked at that after she said that, right?
Oh yeah, you heard all of that. Yeah.
All right. I have an idea. I just don't know the best way to implement it.
Yeah,
I just
the
wanna-
part that you're in right now is just full of roiling gun smoke. It smells like cordite and gunpowder in here.
So I'm gonna turn to Miss Alice and I'm gonna say, that gives me an idea. And now this is the question, because I want to use my turn to dig something out of my bag. Can I kick my pistol over to her?
Sure. Yeah, give me a deafness. Just a straight deafness roll.
So I'm just gonna
See how good you are.
let's see what you got. Deafness. That's a 9.
All right. Yeah, you just use the heel of your boot and kick it over, and Miss Alice, this thing just spins across the floor. It's kind of disconcerting because it's like it's pointed at you, and then it's not, and then it is because it's
right.
spinning as it comes towards you. So you're kind of doing like almost like that, like skipping rope every time it comes towards
Yeah.
you. Jump an inch, but it comes to a stop right in front of your feet. It'd be very easy to pick it up.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna use my turn to dig in my bag, and I'm going for my 1 stick of dynamite.
Pull out a stick of dynamite and a box of matches, and you hear from the end of the cart, "Oh shit!" And you look up, and yeah, one of the hillbillies is trying to crawl out one of the windows.
Yeah, this could go super bad.
That was 10s, 9s, 8, 7, 6.
Me.
Okay,
Sixes.
6.
I have 6 of hearts.
Clutching your shovel, your hands.
Well, can't really get anyone from here, so I guess I could heal myself or Jeff.
Jeff? Oh, he's got a new name now. That's his real name anyway. Nobody's born
Oh,
with me.
Jet. Sorry, I thought it said Jeff. I'm a little bit blind. Okay, so it's like, okay, cowboy, I'm not finished with you yet. I walk over to you in this corner, and I do another heal.
Okay, so yeah, you got 1 win back from your turn. I forgot to mention that,
Oh,
Jet. And then go ahead and give me a medicine check.
Okay. Let's see.
See how many more. You're going to get 1 more back for every success. That's 1. So you get 1 more wind back on your turn. Or on his turn as he heals you.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, partner.
And anybody that really knows how Deadlands combat works, you may yell at me. Feel free. I'm changing things. Go ahead. Let me know how bad I am doing. I'm making it my own, and I told you I would. So here we go.
It's all good. We're having fun.
Yeah.
That was 6s. Anything else?
I'm a 3.
Yeah, okay. Next, 5s, 4s, 3s. What suit are you?
Spades.
Spade, you go first.
All right. Time to see if we could do this. So he just healed me up, and I clap him on the shoulder, and I'm like, thank you, partner. And then I stand up in this. Well, I guess I walked because I would have heard. Where was the shouting coming from? Where the
All coming
majority?
from right up in here, and you've seen shots coming from behind these 2 trees. As well.
So I get up and I kind of like, use the seats to walk with a little easier over to, I guess, this window. I had enough movement for that.
Absolutely, yep.
I'm going to light that dynamite with this match.
Do that thing where you light the match on the inside of your teeth.
Just like, and I'm going to try to, and I'm going to kind of hold it out the windows to make sure they see it. So they know, because I already know they're afraid of it. And I'm going to just chuck it.
Your shit! And make me a throw-in check.
All right. This is where the train goes off the Oh,
a slight penalty because of the range, but
all right, let's now let me ask. I have a point and throw in, but it doesn't have a die. So
that automatically uses the die from the trait. So throw-in is under which trait?
It is under deafness. So
Deafness? Oh yeah, whatever your deafness die is, roll one of those.
okay. So let me do.
But because you have to level 1, at least there's no penalty. All right. It lands short here. And you kind of think to yourself, damn it. But it does that thing where it kind of like a Frisbee, when it lands on edge, it kind of rolls in a circle. And it rolls right up against the bottom of this tree. And you hear just enough time to hear, ha ha, you missed. And and the tree collapses, and you see it drops about 3 feet straight down because you blew a chunk right out of the bottom of it. And you hear as the branches come down and slam the person that was right underneath that tree. Then it falls backwards into the other tree, this one back here. And you hear, son of a bitch! And from there, I mean, you can hear that they are trapped in there. They are fighting to get out. They're not even trying to come remotely close to fighting you anymore. In fact, as it rings, the violent explosion rings in your ears, you quickly look around. You can't hear anything, but you see the ones to the south just shake their heads. You see them, their mouths move, and they turn and start to run. They're all leaving.
I look at you, Jet, and go, well, looks like I'm working overtime tonight.
Whatever. What?
Yeah,
I got him. Get out of here.
So they're all fleeing the scene, you guys. And while they do, put you back here. Turn off the combat music because it's done. So in this sudden silence after the battle, you look around, you're wounded. Some of the people at the other end of the card, even though they weren't involved in the combat, you can see blood coming from a couple of them. One of the twin boys is bleeding quite badly from the shoulder, and his brother's on the chair behind him, poking his knife into the wound and laughing. Everybody's just in complete shock as they lay there at the end, until finally you hear the first person to get their shit together is, you hear her voice, two of you for the first time, say, thank you. That was
okay, I was about to say, where's Anastasia?
Yeah, that was very helpful. I appreciate it. What was it you think those men wanted?
Well, clearly they wanted something that they ain't not gonna get today.
What?
And as you guys turn around, Jet is his guts held together, his shirt's ripped open, vest is all like half the buttons are gone. He's kind of poking at this cloth that's just barely holding his innards in. You look at the Undertaker. His left arm is all blown to hell. There's bone splinters sticking out.
Can I do something?
Absolutely, we are now out of combat.
I'm going to tend to my wounds first,
Mhm.
and then I'm going to tend to Jet and ask for any assistance. Scream at anyone, "Hey, is there anyone who knows any medical knowledge? Assist me right now!"
And they all shake their head and look at you like,
Yeah, Alice isn't doing that. She's gonna spin in front of Anastasia, and she's gonna say, "Did I get any dust on my dress? Can you check my dress, please?"
I'm
I look around. Like, God damn it! I'm not a doctor. I'm an undertaker.
I'm looking at this guy starting to like try to get back at me again for the third time now, and at her spinning, and I'm like, but I can't hear anything. I assume.
Yep.
So I'm like, "What are you? Get out! We get off the train."
Okay. How?
I'll just quickly go around the circle here. Alice, Anastasia smiles at you, reaches into her apparently never-ending bosom, and pulls out a small lint brush.
Yes.
She does this, like she wants you to turn around.
Yes.
I am getting the dust for you, and she
I
starts brushing it off
oblige.
the back of your dress.
Perfect.
Yeah, the other two are wounded. The way that healing works is you can heal wound or wind as often as you want, and in fact, within a couple minutes of this battle ending, it's back. It's you've got your act together again, so you're back up to full wind. It heals within 10 minutes. So
Okay.
don't worry about that. But healing wounds themselves, you can try once per 24-hour period per location. So if
Okay.
he's hurt in the leg and the arm, he can try and heal your leg once and your arm once per day.
Okay.
The number of successes he rolls is how many wounds are healed.
I'm gonna attempt to with my hands because I need to be dexterous
Yep.
somewhat. So I guess I'll roll medicine once for
Okay,
my,
what are you trying to heal? I guess
my
the question
right
is your
arm.
right. Okay, your right arm. Go right ahead. That is what is the difficulty of the healing, or what is the level of the healing? Was it a level 2?
Yes.
Okay, so that means you needed a that's a heavy. You needed a 7. You rolled a 13. That is a success plus 1. You beat it by 5. So that gives you 2. You get 2 wound levels back on that one, which completely removes that one from you.
Okay. So do I go? Where do I go to remove those combat stats?
Just click it, go back up to where it says wound location, and just click it back to none.
Okay. Okay, I will do that.
And then you can try, if you have any other
Leg.
wounds, you can do that. If not, you can try on Jet. I know he's
Okay.
wounded.
I have
I
a
will.
Mhm.
about wounds. So my left arm is heavily injured, but my guts are only lightly injured. So does that mean my left arm is the priority as far as like what's hurting?
That's the one that will cause you the most penalty.
Whoops, sorry. It was left arm, right leg. Okay. The
Yeah,
intention
sure.
was my arm, so
That was the
my
arm.
arm
So,
is back to normal.
Yep.
I will attempt my arm. I mean my
the
leg.
leg. And what was the wound, the level of damage on the wound?
That was heavy.
That was a heavy as well. So again, your difficulty is 7. For every 5 above that, you're going to get an extra 1 back.
Okay, I will.
Well, you rolled performing last time again, actually.
Oh,
Did a medicine. So
Did I?
Yep.
Gosh damn it. Okay, I will re-roll both of those.
please do.
Apologies.
Not a problem.
Okay.
The one thing you can do on Roll20, I do it actually, is you can change the text size and the font size.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually make it bigger. I do that just so I can see it.
Okay, let's see. Is that not
Nope, you
medicine?
did performing again.
says
It says
performance.
medicine. That's the weird thing. Like,
Oh, you're clicking on medicine, but okay, well then we'll use those. So yeah, you get 2 back for the leg and 1 back for the arm.
okay. Okay, so I'm fully healed up. I will go to.
Now this takes about sort of 20 minutes to half an hour.
Right. Okay.
In which case I would have been under strong protest. Get off the train.
Okay.
Where like I'm getting off the train and telling them to get off the train because get off the train. We just set off 2 explosions nearby.
Yeah.
All right then. Good point.
Well, it is very clear at this point that the bad guys have run away. You don't know what else might be coming, but the bad guys have run away.
Okay, so.
So you guys following him off the train?
It's like hold on, cowboy. We gotta tend to your wounds first, and there's a lot of people here that are hurt.
They're gonna
Why
be.
not?
Can I hear now?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, absolutely. It's come back.
I'm gonna be like holding on to his shoulder, trying to urge him off. I'm like, we're gonna be a lot more hurt at the bottom of that valley if we don't get off this train, partner.
Well, now that I remember that, that's a good point. Okay, everyone, get the fuck off.
And at this point, from the back of the cart, you hear a sort of clatter, 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 clatter. And the cook, hat now gone, some burn marks on his head. He's got a big scratch across his face. And there's a weird print, like his shirt's kind of ripped off, and you can see a weird sort of print right here. It takes you a second to realize it's the burn from a hot spatula. So when there was the crash, he apparently
Oh, ow.
burned all over. It's just all blistered up. And he looks up at you guys and the back of the train, it's gone. We got to do something about them.
No, what?
The baggage car and the guys in the caboose, they're gone.
Oh,
That was all our stuff.
yeah.
And
All your stuff is in the baggage car, and the baggage car is no longer attached to the train, and you've been going uphill for quite some time.
Oh wait, we could. Oh god, that's not a good idea. We could detach the back car and ride it.
Oh my God, no.
Well, I would get everyone off first, and maybe
Oh,
just
yeah, of
us.
You seem pretty good with that magic crafting you got, lady. You think you can make us some breaks for this thing?
On that note, I
No,
think
he's not talking to me.
I can assist. Can I assist with tinkering?
Make either one of you with tinkering. Make what's it based on smarts? Yeah, make me just a straight smarts check.
Okay, smart.
Whatever your smart stat is.
Smart.
Roll me that one.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, okay. Lucius, you start looking around. Sarah, it is immediately obvious to you that's not going to work. This is hydraulic brakes in a train, and there's no way to
Okay.
have just that one car stop.
Okay.
And you look at the steepness of the hill, and it's going to be going some in a very short period of time.
I'll tell Jet that. I'll say, yeah, that is not gonna be happening today. That just won't work. There is no way to control it.
Oh boy.
Let's
And at this
see.
point, I'm going to assume I'm off the train.
Did we evacuate everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. They're mostly just bumps and bruises, mostly just wind damage. They recover very quickly on their own. We don't.
Okay, no one major except for Jet, basically.
Yeah, I mean the rest of them they're beaten and bruised, but they've healed them. You know,
I feel like most of
nothing
is it that most of the damage that they got was just literally from the jolts and the starting.
Yeah, exactly. Just from it was more bruising damage than anything else. Just from the
Well,
train crashed.
if I may, I will tend to Jet, and then I will start digging.
You just digging graves.
Yeah, for the people that we did kill.
Okay. You see.
Are they still in one piece or so?
Yeah, there's some bits and pieces. The one that you blew up is in bad shape. The other two have kind of been crushed by trees and blown up, and there's like arms and legs missing. There's some bits and pieces. You guys blew them up really, really ferociously. So it's not a pretty sight. That's not anything your Undertaker hasn't seen before. But you guys are kind of, wow, he's so totally blasé about that.
Well, I, Alice, am going to set up and take a picture of all of this carnage.
Yeah, you start taking pictures, and right. The young lady the one who was watching every time the big burly dude went to the back.
Yeah.
He's missing, by the way.
Yep.
She comes up to you and says, excuse me, miss. Don't y'all think we'd best get down and get our things from the baggage car?
She says that to me.
Yeah, she said, it's only going to be a couple more
Is
hours.
she standing in front of my camera?
She's off to the side. She's aware of what you're doing, and she's going to talk to you, but not get in the way.
Okay. I'm gonna say, well, darling, I am busy at the moment, but I have things in there too. So trust me, we are gonna go and retrieve our things. By the way, what in the world was that man doing that you were with, that you kept watching him when he walked to the back?
I guess there's no more point lying about it. We work for the Museum of Boston, and we are transporting some items to Denver to be in an exhibition.
Oh, well, exhibition is
valuable
the
things.
exhibition is delayed. Let me just tell you that.
I understand that, but it is my personal responsibility. There are items in that baggage car which cannot be left unprotected. You've seen the kind of people that are around this area.
Yeah, and I have also seen that the more that you are chattering in my ear, the less I can focus on my work. So if you will just please stand aside, we'll be with you in a moment.
And at this point, I just have my head cocked and I'm like, you cannot be serious. I don't know what the hell you're doing over there with him with the shovel, I don't know
just-
what the hell you're doing with your camera.
I'm just whistling like a creepy little tune, you know.
We do not have time for this. I don't know who or what y'all think y'all are doing, but I'm going that way. And y'all can stay here if you want, but I ain't got time for this. I'm not going to bake in the sun. Thank you for everything, but I'm that way.
Someone who's making sense. Are we going to go to the baggage car?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
There's also the people that were in the caboose. We got to check on them too. And my partner, he's missing as well.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish taking my picture before I move or do
Yep. It takes you a minute or two. What are you taking a picture of?
So I'm actually trying to get a picture of the train, like the front of the train where it's like in the yeah.
Absolutely. Give me a what was that? Professional photography?
Yep.
Is that what we had for your skill? Yeah, give me that roll. A 9.
That's it.
Yep. You can use a chip if you wanted to improve that or re-roll it.
Let's see.
Because you're getting it set up, and it's just maybe it's the tripod or the lighting or something.
Yeah.
It's gonna be okay, but it's not gonna be.
I feel like, I'll be honest, I want to keep it, but I feel like it makes sense that she would want me to do everything I can to get them.
Yeah, you got to make it right? This is your pride on the line, right? So
Yeah.
you can roll you can burn a white chip and just roll another, or just roll another 1d12 and see what comes up.
That's all I got are white chips.
That's all you got. Okay, so yeah.
So keep one, do that. And then
Yeah, keep 1 and a d12.
I'm gonna do that.
Not that it really matters because you're only rolling 1, but
What?
yeah, that's a better number.
I think there were some explosions.
Yeah, there were a number of explosions. You just rolled a 33 on a 12-sided die. So that's 2 12s and a 9.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, you're a little pissed off at yourself. It's like, bad day or not,
Yeah.
this should look better than this. And you pull the whole thing down, start from scratch. You kick some rocks out of the way. You get the tripod all flat, so you get down low. You get that perfect moment. The sunlight's just glinting off the broken glass. You can see just one arm and a head hanging out the window. Clearly, the 2 people that were in the engine are dead. And you take that photograph. You haven't developed it yet, but you know you nailed it.
It's gold.
Yep. And
And
you
with
start
that-
boxing everything back up and back in the box, lean it against the side of the train. Jet, have you allowed the Undertaker has offered to heal you twice now? Are you letting him do it?
Yeah, as long as we were off the train, yeah, I'll let him do it.
Yeah.
Stinging, whistling. I guess you come by.
Yep. So give me, where are you injured, Jet?
Left arm heavy, guts light.
All right. So which one do you want to do first?
I'm holding up my left arm because that hurts.
Okay. So that is a heavy. So 7 or higher is your target number. Every time you beat that by 5, you'll do better. So
Okay,
give me a medicine.
Okay. I don't know why it's saying perform.
That's all right. We know what it's doing. 11. So you get 1 wound level back on your arm.
So we're down to light. Cool.
Yep. And then the other one is only a light wound, so that's only a difficulty of 5. So roll again. So you start patching them up with everything you've got. Yeah, you got the second one better than you got the first one. Yeah, your light wound is dealt with. You guys are between the 2 of you. You get some things adjusted. You readjust that strapping that's holding his guts in, and he is as healed as he's going to get for today.
Yeah.
Try not to strain it too much, cowboy. Now, do you mind helping me dig? My job here will be done a lot faster.
I thought we were going down to see the crash where the other cots are.
I turned to the Undertaker and I'm like, sir, I understand this is your livelihood.
I give him a look of it, like just like a very scary look. It's like, you don't understand, do you? Work to be done.
I actually kind of want to, because I've seen, weird stuff. Is there any kind of way, would that be like a spirit check or something to see if there's anything more to that where I'm like, this is something and it seems to be important.
I don't think we need a roll. It is absolutely obvious that this man takes his job 100% seriously. There is no messing about here. This is not an option. These people are going in the ground. You do some quick math. It's going to take at least the rest of the day if he does it. It's going to be dark and cold and whatnot by the time he's done.
Can I proficiently even use my profession to speed up, as well as maybe tinker with my shovel to make it go a little faster?
That is sped up. I don't know if you've ever dug a hole 6 feet deep,
Yeah, I know.
3 feet wide.
You're
looking to dig 4 of them. So yeah.
I clap him on the shoulder. I'm like, buddy, how about this? See that big hole right there?
You're not implying what I think you're implying.
If you just want to shovel them off into that, maybe, I'm all about honor and whatnot, but these fellas don't. I don't know. I don't think they deserve it. And that is a hole in the ground. There's already a few bodies down there, I'm pretty sure.
Given the circumstances, and if I had my equipment, it would have been done a lot faster.
So we're going to have to come back here and stay the evening at the train anyway.
All right, then.
You'll have all the time you want to bury them by firelight. That wasn't supposed to sound romantic.
But I do like it. Thank you. I really appreciate what you said there. I say to everyone, if you could please help speed up my job, I would really appreciate it. There will be, a little compensation if you help me out.
Us all can dig holes if that's all you need.
Oh, just 4.
How about one big one?
Nope, it has to be precisely 4.
Okay, how many is 4?
You see your fingers?
And
Show me 5.
He holds up both hands. This one's got 2 and a thumb. This one's got 3 and a half of an index finger.
Have them out like this. I want you to put the thumb down. That many.
I ain't got but one thumb. And he does that. Now there's 2 and a half fingers on one hand and 2 fingers on the other.
It will have to do. Carry on. Tally ho, and take my shovel in a very fancy kind of.
We just start digging holes in.
Remember, 86, 8 feet, 6. What's the saying again? Sorry.
How many is an 8 and how many is a 6? Is them numbers?
I really have to educate them.
We'll just start digging, son. When you get back, you tell us when to stop, right?
I'll fix it when we get back. Carry on, let's go.
And at this point, the young lady is literally tapping her foot and waiting and looking at the sun like it's moving, it's moving, it's moving.
Oh, is dark something we should be concerned about? Like, I know darkness isn't good, but is in this universe, darkness is way
Well, we're humans,
so
we
this
just
is
have
about
dark vision.
I have a land. Oh, wait, do I
Even
have
without even without all the crazy shit that's in this world, if you think about it, in 1877, you're 100 miles from the nearest city in the middle of nowhere with almost no food, almost no water, no real light sources bigger than a torch. And it's still late spring. It was cool this morning. It's going to get cold tonight.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
But it is still sort of mid-afternoon, sort of 2:30. So you guys going to head down towards the baggage cart?
Yes.
Yeah.
How long do you think that would take?
Well, you guys start your way down, and I need, is anybody paying attention? Or are you just, like, she's just heading right down the tracks. She's walking down the middle of the tracks, eyes straight forward, looking for what she is. She says to you, I'm assuming it fell off at one of the corners. The speed it must have been going.
I will...
I'm
proficient with this.
Alice isn't really paying attention for the baggage train cart. She's more paying attention, like looking around to see if what kind of picture opportunities there are in this area. So she is looking around, but it's not.
Okay, give me a photography check as sort of that, like as you're looking around with the eye. The other two?
I'm looking for threats, mainly just looking over the horizons, making sure nothing's, coming around.
Do you want me to do my professional role?
Yeah, give me your professional photography. Jet, give me a search roll. And what is Lucius doing?
I will also assist him, just looking around for.
Okay, give me a search then as well.
Okay, that's under which one again?
Near the top
Search is
left.
under cognition, right at the top on the left-hand side.
Right. Okay.
That's the one that everybody's got a level 1 in.
Okay. Perfect. Level 1 search and roll.
Oh boy.
Okay,
Not
so
the, not
Jen
the.
and Lucius, you guys are looking around. You're like looking for movement, looking for things that are hunting you. You don't really see anything, but looking for light and shadows and interesting interplays. Alice, you noticed that there's a row of holes in the snow. It looked like somebody took a stick about maybe 2 inches across and just went about every 3 feet. And they go in a straight line right down the side of the tracks.
I would.
You can
point
see
that
because
out.
of the shadow, right? There's just this row of shadowed
Yeah.
dots running down the hill.
I would point that out. Probably
Have a
try
look.
to get Jet's attention mainly and be like,
Sure. The three of you gather together and look, and what it looks like for all the world is like somebody walked down here in stilts. You can see the stick, it goes in at an angle and then like a step forward, and then the next one goes in and a step forward. And you do some quick math based on how far apart the steps are. These stilts must have been like wearing the stilts. This, if it was a person, they must have been 9 or 10 feet tall. So the stilts are at least 3 feet long.
I think we should.
And there's a
be
bit of snow here. Like there's sort of 6 to 8 inches of snow on the ground as you guys get into the trees that this cut is in.
Dear friends, I think we should be a little bit vigilant.
Yeah, I don't like that. That seems like something you don't want to mess with.
Should we sneak around? Sneak about? It would.
Meanwhile, ahead of you, the young lady is just disappearing down into the darkness. We need to find them. Or into the daylight. It's still daylight. We need to find them quickly. You see her reach into her little bag and she pulls out a tiny little gun, little derringer.
Like,
Oh,
yes, I would recommend you come back immediately. There's
We haven't
danger.
got time.
afoot.
We haven't got time.
There's danger, and your life will be.
You don't know where the danger is. It could be anywhere.
How fresh are
That's
these
the point.
tracks?
Give me a tracking.
Okay, let's see.
That's the difference between searching and tracking.
Okay,
Well,
is this
he's-
under also cognitive or?
It is also under cognition, and if you don't have it, just roll 1 die of the cognition skill and -4.
Okay.
Nope, no clue. You have no idea, other than you guys seem to be fairly sure it was moving downhill. It looks like it was walking along the side of the tracks.
I don't like that.
From just ahead of you, she hasn't stopped. As she gets to the next corner and she stops the corner and looks around and goes, oh, I see it. I see the baggage car. And she's gone around the corner.
what?
Because there's a
Gone.
sharp turn in the tracks and she's invisible, like she's passed around the corner out of sight.
I thought more like got impaled and yanked.
Oh, no. She has rushed off down the tracks. She said she saw the baggage car.
Do you feel?
Well-
I still feel we should be vigilant. What do you think?
And I turned to oh gosh, I can't remember everybody's name. Alex.
That's why I
Lucius.
got them at the bottom of the screen in roll 20.
Oh, beautiful. I turned to Alice and I'm like, you comfortable using that gun, ma'am?
She kind of holds it like this, and she's like this.
So no, because if not, I'll take it back.
She'll give it back to you.
Okay, I'll take
She
it.
likes rifles. She likes rifles.
The rifle girl.
I don't want to.
We heard that sound a lot tonight. That's very supportive and wonderful.
I love that sound.
I'm like, I don't want to leave a lady defenseless, so I'll try to stay close. But I think, I'm more confident in my shooting.
As he says that to you, you look at all the bandages wrapped around various portions of his anatomy that are starting to ooze a little bit of blood
Yeah.
here and there.
I'm like, okay.
The Undertaker's starting to measure him again, see if he shrunk.
Right.
So
he's
you
got
guys
like the box plans in his head already, I imagine.
Yep.
Yes.
You guys come around the corner, and it's a very short straightaway, and there's another sharp turn, and you can see at that turn the baggage car and the caboose are on their sides. They've crashed through a couple of trees. The baggage truck seems to be more or less intact. It seems to be very heavily built. And you remember that a lot of the baggage on this thing is military stuff on a regular basis, so it makes sense that that's well built. The caboose, on the other hand, was behind it when it came down. So the caboose is smashed to shit into the trees. The young lady is standing at the door to the baggage car, which she's wrenched open, and she's just standing there with her mouth hanging open, staring inside.
Oh no. I'm gonna walk up behind her, see what she's looking at.
You turn and look inside. Make a search roll for me.
Alrighty.
Same with anybody else that walks up and looks in.
I will do the same.
All right.
Okay.
Let me find search.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not hard to see, but apparently the boys aren't paying attention. They're looking the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I can't see it. It's
Well,
right.
what the hell is that?
Look somewhere else. Oh, well, there it is. They're doing that shit. And you step beside her and you follow her eyes, and you see a large blood stain against one wall inside. You look at the bottom, there's no body, but there is a bloody skid mark that comes to the door where you are right now.
Like skid mark, you mean like somebody was dragged?
Somebody dragged a profusely bleeding body out of here. You look in again, and she points in the other direction, and you see another mark coming out from behind a broken box that comes out as well. Weirdly enough, looking inside this cart, you see all your gear. It's all in boxes and crates laying around. Nothing is severely damaged,
Okay.
except
Well,
for one big box. Go ahead.
I was just saying I'm gonna get my stuff. But
Yeah, you start to step in there to get your stuff. And because you were the first one in, give me a... well, what are you looking at? You're going to look for your stuff. So give me another search roll while you're looking, because it's kind of jumbled around. You find your bag right away, but your weapons are sort of here and there.
yeah.
Makes perfect sense. You don't find your weapons, but in the process, you try and shove this big broken box out of the way. The other two of you step into this cart just in time to see Alice's face, her mouth drop open. And the young lady steps up behind her and says, "It got out."
What?
I knew it. I knew they were doing some shit that was
And that's where we'll end tonight.
no. Ah,
So you got to wait a week to find out.
Magic.
Well, hoo-wee. Call me Millet and toss me in the skillet. We'd only just begun this story, and these folks done found themselves in a whole trainload of trouble. Guess what's gonna happen next? I don't know. And since we ain't got any fancy moving pictures for this show quite yet, I'll just pass it on back to Marshall Kevin to close us on out.
Oh, thank you everybody for playing. You guys were awesome. Thank you everybody for watching. If there's anybody out there who actually did.
there's a couple. Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, everybody here is incredibly talented. You watch them tonight play a game they've never played before. It showed from time to time, but I think we got through it exceptionally well. So thank you to all three of them. I know two of you have your own stuff that you're doing. Can we just sort of aim everybody at the Mercs of Mischief website, and they can connect to your sites
Yep.
from there, because you guys stream and stuff and all that goodness. Everybody who's listening who isn't already part of our Discord, you should go there immediately. You should go to our website. If you want to watch, get caught up on other episodes, because this is the first episode of this. So if you saw this, you got no catching up to do.
The beginning.
But they're all right back down there at the bottom. You can watch the Mercs of Mischief. You can watch the Too Many Warlocks. And as we add them, you'll be able to watch more Deadlands. So let us know in the chat what you thought. Let us know in the Discord what you thought. Thank you again to my players. You guys were awesome. That was spectacular. And other than that, we'll shoot you next week.
Hey, I was hoping you had it out. Stay tuned for a raid, guys. We're going to go raid a friend.